Welcome, welcome. This is a nice little surprise. This is the TBA release party, and today we are going to talk to Paul Ieson
I
about his.
sin
I do it every time.
every time.
Every time.
I'm gonna slap you.
We're gonna we're gonna talk we're gonna talk to Paul about his book that just came out. And this is from the Immortal series, and it is
Yes.
Apocalypse, correct?
Yep. Immortal Apocalypse.
Okay, tell me what's going on with this book.
All righty. Immortal Apocalypse. How do I start this? We've got Bigfoot. We've got the lizard species. We've got a shapeshifter, and we have the Immortals. And the Immortals have basically become in alignment with the humans, and humans are learning about them because the lizard species has decided that it's time that they take their world back because in the story it's not in the story the Anunnaki created the lizard species first in the story. I'll say
Hmm.
it that way. And then the earth decided to flip its axis and everything went underground or it left and went out in space somewhere. And the Anunnaki left for a while and then they came back and the lizards were nowhere to be found and they ended up creating humans as humans are today. And well, things went from there until present day. The last book ends with a triangle craft in Sedona. We were just talking about.
We were just talking
At
about
Fifth
Sedona.
Third is what was going in my mind in Sedona. And the triangle craft is hovering outside the bank that had just gotten robbed.
Jeez.
And the main character goes, "Oh, here we go again." So it goes, it's the book starts off during the 911 event
Okay.
when all the main characters are on vacation, and they ended up going back to Arizona, and then they moved to Tennessee, and things start to get real. And the lizard species decides that it is just going to show itself.
Hmm.
And the human military, United States military, that is involved with this because the lizard species is part. I took all the conspiracies last year
Hmm.
and threw them into the book.
Every single one of them, huh?
So all not every single one of them, but the whole masks thing. Well, like Biden was wearing a mask and he was supposed to be a lizard, and Hillary Clinton wears a mask and she's supposed to be a lizard, and all this kind of. That's the kind of thing that I did. So when the Immortals meet the lizards for the first time, the guy just takes his mask off and they end up knowing each other.
Okay.
And so I don't want to give too many spoilers, but it's really interesting. It's fast paced, and the way that I end the book is not the way you would ever think it would happen. I mean, it's not the end of the series, of course, but I came up with a whole new way to kill people.
And where do people forward their names for when they want to die in your books? Just kidding. I want to welcome Angel Ramon. Thanks for tuning in. And Lee Edwards.
Hey.
Welcome. Angel said hi, Paul and Jen. And Lee said, hey, kids, Paul, I'll autograph your book and sell it. Congratulations on your new book.
Well,
And
you know
Lee,
what that joke's all about,
oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
Lee, thank you for telling me I look good because I've looked like trash last few days.
I, I
Mama's had a
actually
migraine.
I actually agree with Lee on that
On
100%. I
the
think
autograph.
I think everybody does about that kind of thing. Sign your own work, not somebody else's.
Yeah, yeah. So, but so your book, when did it release? Because I know it's been a minute since it actually did release.
Okay, Immortal Apocalypse
Yes.
became an ebook 2 weeks ago.
Okay. And we're still
Um,
waiting for the actual physical
and we're
paperback.
still waiting for the paperback. Everybody I know, I could buy books. I could buy books all day long, and I'd be
Hmm.
out of books the next day.
That's
That
cool.
much I can, I can tell you about, because everybody wants the continuation of the story, and that in itself makes you feel good. But it's got to come out,
Yeah.
and
So you've been getting really good reviews then from have they been putting them up on Amazon
uh,
for
the
you?
reviews for the other books. The reviews have been awesome, including yours.
Oh.
I mean, nobody that has ever read it and gave me a review, be it that it was on Amazon or they gave me the review to put on my website,
Hmm.
that I also have on Amazon, has ever said a bad word about it.
Hmm. Have you
And
used ARC and beta readers at all?
I don't even know what ARC and beta readers are.
Okay, we'll talk. So a lot of authors use other people to kind of like make sure the story flows, make sure all the editing is kosher and all that stuff. And ARC readers, those are beta readers, and ARC readers, still make sure that everything sounds good, and then they put up a review. They're kind of like the first line of reviews that you get. So I think I've never used them, and I really need to. So I think since I'm in my fourth book, I think the fourth book is, or maybe my next standalone is going to be an ARC reader, beta reader type of situation I would like to start using. So I started compiling a list. So if you need it, let me know. And for anybody
Okay.
else out there who writes books, if you need a beta list or if you need an ARC list, let me know. I have it where I'm compiling it, names and everything. But they're always a good resource. How much, because you have cryptids and stuff like that in there, how much research did you do on these, or are these just cryptids that you've already known about everything, you've already watched all the documentaries, everything that could be said about these people or these things have been said, and you're just going off of that, or did
Well,
you make up extra stuff?
the shapeshifters, the shapeshifter that has entered the story at the moment really hasn't done anything but talk with the main character and explain what
Hmm.
he can and can't do. And
Hmm.
supposedly, those two have known each other for a few hundred years. Bigfoot, on the other hand, has known the main character for a few hundred years. They met between the war between the states, and Bigfoot, which is something I've always speculated on, and I've speculated because my dogs and other animals can communicate telepathically.
Hmm.
And so I just threw that in the book as how they speak to each other.
Oh,
Because
okay.
if they try to speak with their mouths as a Bigfoot, it would sound like a Wookiee.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, um, and lizards can do both. They can speak either with their mouth or telepathically or whatever. A lot of it was author creation. I mean,
Hmm.
I've been in the paranormal world for quite some time,
Yeah.
but nobody can agree on anything.
No.
And until someone brings me a pet Bigfoot that has been their friend for a while and I sit and talk to it, I'm just going to do what I do.
You better be careful if Richard Ryan Rose is watching this. He will gut you. Lee Edwards
Okay,
says,
well,
Lee Edwards says, Paul, kill me in the most stupid way possible in your book, and you've already got a sale. He loves dying in everyone's books.
yeah, I've learned that.
Yeah, I have him in one of mine. I believe it is the third one, Aaron, the group Aaron. I have him in my book. I killed him off pretty good.
Well,
Pretty
Wendy's supposed to be in the third book.
Wendy.
Our editor,
Oh, she's supposed to be in what third book?
my
Mine?
third book.
Oh, okay. I
She's
was gonna
yeah,
say I don't remember that conversation, but then of
yeah.
course I don't remember a lot of conversations. So
um,
I am the perfect vault. If you ever tell me
well,
something, I'm probably gonna forget it.
everybody in Immortals Among Us, Life as a Human,
Hmm.
was basically from Rocky Horror back
Yeah.
when I was doing Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
love
not
it.
a single one of them have ever read it.
Oh, Angel says, I'll look for a way to pick Paul off in my current series. I'm sure he'd appreciate that, Angel.
Oh yeah, that'd work.
And then, let's see. I'm assuming this is Lee again. Lizard people should be able to suck the blood out of humans till they're dried husks.
Not in my stories.
Hello, Facebook user. I'm sorry, I can't see who this is. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find out who wrote that. Ah, John Winfred Neelas, and I probably butchered that because we all know how I am with last names, apparently. John, hi. He says, hi, JL and Paul. Any tips for a new writer? Excited to know your thoughts on this. Well, first of all, John, thank you for tuning in and welcome to the world of
Yeah.
writing. Enjoy never being happy again and complete despair.
Yes.
No. It's not true. It's not true. But,
Oh,
um, we don't want to deter you from, misery because misery loves company. What? Okay, so now this is your third book out, Paul. And you are very relatively new. Both of us are, to the author world. What would you give, what information or what tips would you give to John?
Stick with it. The biggest thing I can say is to stick with it. It doesn't matter whether you write 2 paragraphs that day or if you write 2,000 words that day.
Hmm.
Stick with it. And it will become, after like 7 days of you doing that, it will become more of a habit and something that you have to do instead of something that you want to do and you just put off. So stick with it. And as far as the comment that was made earlier about family, I wouldn't worry about any family members because family is always the hardest people to impress.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had made a comment about sometimes your family are they're not really your biggest supporters all the time. But I I would have to say, just like you, Paul, I believe write it, just get it on paper. Write your story because it may have already been done somewhere else, those people did not have your thought process on it. It's your story. You're writing this story. So I really think that sitting there and saying, well, this has been done before. It hasn't been done by you. It hasn't been done by your words, and it might not have been done the exact same way. So put your story out and don't worry about editing until way later. Get the story out. There's people for that, especially if you have a good publisher. Angry Eagle Publishing. If you have a good publisher, which we both went through Angry Eagle Publishing, and we absolutely adore DJ and Wendy. They're part of that. They do a magnificent job. So if you haven't checked them out yet, check out angryeaglepublishing.com. And she's got everything listed up there on what she looks for and stuff like that. But just get the story out. You could always go back later and reevaluate or change something or add more or take away. Just get the story out. That is, I think, my number one. Don't worry about word count. There's some people, like we always talk about Angel and his magnificent word count of
Yeah,
between 2,000 and 5,000 words a day because he is like a writing machine. Um, he does that. And I really think that that is amazing. But this is his full time job. Don't worry about other
right.
people. Congratulate them. Good job. You did an excellent job. I'm very happy for you. And then move on with your own stuff. Worry about you. Um, if you get 5 words down, that's a win for the day.
Well, it's like this. When I started Immortals, I had just stopped driving an engine locomotive for Conrail at Stanley Yard. I could type maybe 5 words a minute. Now I can type 80 words a minute, but that doesn't mean you can read it.
Misspellings and grammatical
Oh
errors abound.
man, between misspelling and dyslexia, making words backwards that you type down or completely different than the word that you meant,
Yeah. And then
so
there's also spell check.
oh, I hate spell check because half the time it's wrong anyway. And spell check will make me put down the wrong word, even though it's the same word, but it's spelled 2 or 3 different freaking ways.
Yep. Yep. And then you look like an idiot and you're just like, what the
Yeah,
heck?
then I look stupid, and I listen to Wendy say,
You're like,
"Oh,
I
it's
didn't put
not
it that
that
way.
bad," and then I find out from somebody else, "Man, what the fuck is wrong with you?"
Well, I just
So
found out that autocorrect had changed the spelling of the one of the names in my book to the proper, and I had it spelled just kind of different. And it was a name Justin. It changed it to Justin from Justyn. Could be both ways. I've seen it done both ways, and I had it with the Y, and I think it changed it. And
it's
I was
yeah,
like, man, now I gotta
um,
be boring. And my character is not really that boring. So,
yeah. It changed when me and Wendy and Dee were going through the first edit thing.
mm-hmm,
It for somehow it changed Freya from the Rayj
uh-huh.
or whatever, however that is, to
Yeah.
just Freya the other way,
FRYA,
Frya or
yeah.
whatever. And I had to go back and I didn't yell.
FRAYA or
I
something.
didn't
Yeah.
yell about it, but hey, it's like this is not right. This has got to be
Yeah,
changed.
that's
And
annoying.
and,
So,
and so things, I know for a fact that things will change just by sending them to another computer,
that's
and it's
crazy.
nobody else's fault.
How um how have you found the editing process for you as an author?
So far,
Like
it's been
grueling? Has it been okay? You've had a really decent experience or
so far my dealing with Wendy is great, other than sometimes she will rip a complete paragraph out of what I'm trying to write. And but
you're like, "I
she's
know
the
I wanted that
editor.
there."
She's the editor. She knows more than me. This is why we have an editor.
Mhm.
Um, but it's still. I mean,
Can you imagine you get to read all these books and just and you can, you help you're in the process of helping make them the great works of art that they end up being afterwards. Um, have you always been artistic kind of? Because I mean, I don't know how you consider authorship, but I consider being an author and writing, I consider that kind of an art form because you're creating. So, is that your only creative outlet or do you have other things?
okay.
Oh, you make things.
You see this?
Yeah,
You know what that is, don't you?
I do. I
Yeah,
do.
I know you do.
Tell
This is the
everybody
type
else.
of shit that I make, man. I make
That's
stuff
cool. And
like
it's all from
this,
nature.
or I make jewelry boxes with sound that will play music, or I just make stuff like the pavilion out by the pool that's out there, and
Hmm.
I just got to keep busy. I just got
So
to
is
do
that how
things.
when you're not writing, that's the kind of stuff that you do outside of your writing?
In the summertime, I'm always outside.
Hmm.
In the summertime, I don't write. I will be either doing something outside, whatever that is, or I'll be at a book signing somewhere,
Okay.
and or riding my motorcycle. And
Yeah.
usually, I'll be riding the motorcycle to the book signing. So, oh, and then before I forget, the audio is in review for Immortals Among Us: Life as a Human.
Oh, good. Okay.
You know,
And you so that'll be out on audiobook soon on Audible, right?
I I'm guessing April 5th.
Okay.
You
That's
know,
just next week.
that's next week. It depends on Amazon. You can you you know It's all
Yeah.
up to, it's like, because Amazon still doesn't have my paperback ready. I know it's not Dee's fault. That's why I haven't been disturbing her.
They take forever.
And what the hell else was I gonna say? I have that other one that's supposed to be coming out, my short story book, but I don't even know when the hell that's gonna even happen. You
Okay.
know, so that's the
Yeah,
next one.
I have to do my own audio for my own audible for my own books because I want a female voice for it.
Um, I
So,
will. Um, okay, well that's cool.
so I got to get all
I
my
will
stuff
be
together.
doing the audio for the short story book of mine.
Okay.
The only issue with it, that's going to take a while because well, the Stanley Yard is only about 4 miles that way,
Mhm.
and the tracks are 300 yards behind me,
And they're loud.
and their trains sometimes it's all day.
Before we even came on, I heard the train go by.
Well, that was a
And
signature to my old show. Was the train, and at night it was the between the train and the crickets. The crickets were so
yeah.
loud that I would actually have to raise my voice to be able to for
Can
people
you
to be able to
guess where
hear
I
me
am at?
over. You
It's
know,
not Ohio unless there's a train horn.
so
So, what's your next move? You have book 2 out
I have
for the Immortal series. How many books is the Immortal
the
series?
Immortal series. Depending on my mood, I'm thinking the Immortal series will be 3 books, and
Okay.
I'm thinking where Immortal Apocalypse was a short book, kind of like Twisted.
Mhm.
Immortals, the third book, will be a thicker book, probably between 80 and 100,000 words. And yeah, because there's a lot more to it. But my mood, well, I can tell you off air what I'm planning with the ending of the book.
Well, it's probably definitely not going to be out anytime soon because summer's coming.
Yeah, summer's coming, and around
So,
here, I mean, one day it's 30 degrees, and the next day it's 70.
yeah,
So,
that's true.
and when it's 70, you have to take that time. You don't
Yeah,
have, you have to,
lest you miss it.
well, it's not just that. You have stuff you got to do out there, be it
Yep.
cleaning the gutters or what have you. It's called old people work. So,
So there is going to be a third book. What
there will
about,
be a third book.
do you have any plans for any other books? Like, are you going to create another series or is this series going to just end at 3?
Uh, yeah, well, I told you before. You might not remember. I was thinking of doing a spiritual.
Well, I'm trying to get everybody aware and engaged. I know
I
what
know
you've done.
that.
I've talked to you. You're a terrible interviewee.
Of course I am.
And I tell you this
I'm
every time
supposed to
you're
be
on.
interviewing. I'm not an interviewee.
So,
It's kind of like, yeah.
books. We did talk. You and I did talk before about some spiritual books and stuff like that because I that was something that I had also wanted to get into. Getting into that kind of authorship and stuff like that, kind of pulling away from fiction. So, you want to get into spiritualism and spiritual books. What else? What else you got in that brain?
In that boring genre, spiritualism.
Yeah. So, so do you want to try your hand at that next?
I'm not sure if that's going to be what happens.
Okay.
There's another book that I had started a long time ago, and I don't know if that's going to, where Fort Meigs is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this was a time travel thing that went back to Fort Meigs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Um,
And that's a place
so
that's really close to where you're at and you
yeah,
can
well,
actually go to.
I'm in Millbury, and that's out in
Yeah.
Maumee. So 795, it only takes me 10 minutes to get there.
Right.
If I
Very
take the other
close.
way around, it takes an hour.
Yeah.
Go figure.
I know. I don't know how that works.
That's the way it is around here.
But, so what is So your next move is possibly a
My
spiritual book.
Well, after uh, I think I need to do this end of the third book to the
Hmm.
series, and after that, I'm gonna do. I think I'll do spiritualism. You know how that urge gets into you.
Yes.
That, yeah,
Yes, I do. Um, let's see. Oh, Lee Edwards lived right next to Fort Meigs at one point, and he said they do reenactments there, which
yes, they do.
yeah, they do. Um, there's a lot of different types of reenactments.
Well, it's 1812. Well, they call
Hmm.
it. They tell the public it's 1812, but it
Hmm.
was 1813 when the fort was built to the point where they had 3,500 people in it, 3,500 soldiers.
Wow.
That's we'll be getting credits because I have to actually go to the Fort Meigs website
Yeah.
and get all the facts about it because I will have people like Lee who live next door.
Who'll
Um,
tell you they know that's not
yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna go, no, that didn't happen that way. Fort Meigs Cemetery. I didn't
Yeah.
know this until I was there last summer. Fort Meigs Cemetery, on the side furthest away from 25 or closest to Fort Meigs, is
Uh-huh.
where the British was sitting. I thought the
Mm.
British were on the other side of the river. And
Oh,
they told me then that day that the British were where Fort Meigs Cemetery is now.
they were in Perrysburg, in the on the corner.
And they
Wow.
told me there was an Indian reservation about a quarter mile any other way from Fort Meigs,
The whole
which would,
state was an Indian
oh
reservation.
yeah, it was.
That's where all of our names came from in Ohio. So, he- s- it- are you gonna keep that kind of factual, or is it
That
gonna have a
book,
little bit of both?
well, it's going to be a time travel thing, but yeah, that the stuff about Fort Meigs and anything else that I put in there will be legit. It will, I mean, I can't. I'm not the type of person to write a story and just pull things out of my behind,
Mm,
and because I am fully aware that people sometimes believe things that they read that it better be factual. And
yeah.
it's like whether you believe in time travel or not is that's up to whoever reads the material. But as far as everything else, like when I wrote Twisted, and I'm talking
Hmm.
about Collingwood Arts Center,
Hmm.
all that's factual, every single bit of it.
Have you done any like scientific research on quantum physics or anything like that? Time dilation, anything like that from uh, talking about, time travel and understanding how it works. Have you looked at anything science based at all, or were you just like, no, I'm just doing it how I
I did it.
think?
I wrote it through my understanding of how it works,
Okay.
and not from a scientific type of thing.
Have you gotten
Um,
any backlash about that?
I, I have gotten no backlash about it.
Cool.
Um, I specifically made it that way
Hmm.
because for the same reason I just gave you,
Hmm.
I don't want somebody reading something and attempting it, and then I'm responsible.
I understand.
Do you understand Yeah, you
Yeah.
understand where I'm going with
Oh
that.
yeah, 100%. So, I guess if there's a third book to your Immortal series, why did you name this one Apocalypse
Apocalypse means new beginning.
or the end?
Well, you are ending one way of civilization, but at the same time you are beginning another.
Hmm.
And that's how the book goes. And then the next book is when you're trying to pick up the pieces and it's not working.
Yeah. Lee Edwards says he can introduce you to some of the historical, I'm assuming he meant people or something like that. One of the former people that runs it now runs D-Day, Ohio. So if you want help with that, he said he's got you.
I thank you, Lee. I know I met the curator at Fort Meigs,
Nice. Okay.
and she talked to me for a while and told me any questions I have to get a hold of her. But first, do your homework on the website. Don't bother me with stupid shit.
That's funny. So, is this so then you're like I was saying, for your apocalypse book, you come with the thought process that it's a new beginning. So is that what's going on in your second book of
Well,
the Immortal series, the one that's releasing, the one that's released?
in the second book, things get torn to pieces,
Hmm.
and there's a war, a little short war, and then things are. It's right there where things are going to build new.
Hmm.
And that's basically what an apocalypse does not mean end of the world.
Hmm. Okay.
It means end of the world as it is now.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'd like that. I like that. Um, so then pretty much it's not over till the fat lady sings.
Exactly.
Okay.
And these days, there's plenty of fat ladies to sing.
I
So,
remember that remark.
no, you're fine, Jen.
And I do sing every once in a while, but nothing happens. So, I mean, nothing terrible at least.
You're
But
funny.
so I guess I mean who does your because I know who does your cover art, but tell everybody who, how you got in with I guess this would also go back to the new writer John who, wants to get into
Yeah.
authorship and when how did you get the process going? Cuz you and I had met we met before you even started
Oh,
writing.
we've known each other off and on casually. I will add that it's always
Yeah.
been casually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Run in the same circle.
But we know we know of each other,
Uh-huh.
and we get along, and but she's always done her thing and I've always done mine. So that's just stay out of my way or I'll kill you type of thing.
So we ended up chatting. I had a book signing at a mutual friend of ours,
Yeah, and I
Robin.
walked in when she was just finished.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so you and I started talking and you asked me because you had stories, you asked me how I got published. So tell
Well,
everyone how you ended
I
up.
said I don't have a publisher, and you said I do, and
I
then you
got
said
one.
here's my card with these info on it, and that's how that got started. And I think it was what the next day that or something close to that I had a publisher. And Dee did my cover. She did the research on the cover of the person that did the cover originally
Hmm.
after I did my terrible job at the cover. And for whatever reason, I'm not going to get into it, but for whatever reason, Dee said, we got to do this. I got to make a cover my way. And it's like, okay, well, it's like, in the book Immortals Among Us, they do this scrying thing with their hands where they make the little cloud. You remember reading that? And you
Yes.
can scry and you can. So that's basically what the cover is. It's kind of like a little crystal ball, and then you see the event that's taking place.
Hmm.
And that stuck for the second cover too, and it will stick for the third cover
Yeah, and
because
I'm gonna show everybody the cover because I actually genuinely do like
and
it.
Bigfoot's on that cover, by the way, on the left hand side.
Yep, right there. I'll even
Yeah,
zoom
see
in.
on the left hand side, you see where the light is coming to the ground. If you go right
Hmm.
to the left, you can see you got to really make it big, but
Yeah,
there's Bigfoot.
he's dark in there, but he's in there. He's in there. You can see him. But yeah, this is I do like this cover. I like it a lot better than the last one. But
Do you?
yeah, there's the not the last cover because I just I don't I love the cover. I love the whole idea of the magic um little globe that you're looking into to scry into to see what's going on. You have your motorcycles and there's the
I
UFO.
like the way the road turns into the vines.
Uh-huh.
She did a wonderful job,
Yes. And there's the UFOs and everything.
even though she got extremely upset because I kissed. No, let's do it this way. No, let's do it this way.
But
She's like, I'm gonna wring your
there's
fucking neck.
there's the book on Amazon. And let me try and move my mouse. Okay, there we go. So yeah, that was um that was it. That was the page. I just wanted to show you the book cover because I like the color scheme and everything like that. I like the vines and the scrying ball and everything like that. But I'm a weirdo. I like that stuff, and I like the old um
The
text,
yeah,
the
the
font.
sepia, the old sepia look.
Yeah, the font that was used.
Yeah.
I like that. So Dee did a really good job.
Well, just like with you, everybody uh, says Leeson or they say Eason or something.
Mm-hmm.
So Dee made sure she put the I the proper way there for me. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
still, I don't know.
It's still a problem.
It is
That's
what
all
it
right.
is. And,
My boss calls me Falk. There is no A in my name.
Falk.
Yeah, it's folk, like folk music.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can screw that up, but you can, apparently. So so I feel you on that. Um, so have you ever thought about jumping?
Mm, what kind of genre? Jumping.
Well, this is kind of what fantasy.
It's fantasy. I do fantasy time travel, and I've thought about my short story book is basically horror stories,
And
and
that would be genre jumping, jumping to horror genre or romance or whatever, just,
well,
murder mystery.
it's horror stories. And when I was in in the hospital with my triple bypass,
Hmm.
what I went through, the illusions or whatever hallucinations that I had in the hospital room, I
Hmm.
wrote about that.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you got to read it.
I have to write I just recently had a really weird dream. It was a bad dream. I was listening to a zombie horror book on Audible, which I'm hoping to have the author come on my show at some point, which I'll be starting a new show. Um, it's been out there as the world burns. It's post-apocalyptic show, but everybody else does too. But I've been listening to it for a while now, and it was weird because I had a dream about zombies, but it wasn't like there. I knew that there were people zombies, but it ended up being like mainly about zombies mutating dogs to almost the size of cows.
Oh, damn.
And I'm like, why would I do that? Why would my brain do that? And I was just like, what is wrong with me? So I had this terrible dream about all the normal dogs were inside with me, and then all the bad dogs were outside trying to get in at the normal dogs, and I'm trying to save all these dogs and this, that, and it was it was a wreck. I was like, I gotta write a book about that. It was too messed up. I didn't even see any bite marks. All the dogs looked fine.
Zombie
But
dogs.
they were zombie dogs and they were giant. They were size like zombie cow sized dogs. It was weird. And the only reason I knew they were dogs, it's not like I saw their face. I just knew they were huge and they were laying in a pasture. They were laying like outside.
Yeah.
And they were just ginormous. And I saw their tails. That's all I saw. And I saw their coloring. It was weird. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Weirdest dream I've ever had in my life. But do you ever use your dreams to facilitate?
I
I mean, I know
have.
your hallucinations from being sick helped you, but what about
I
dreams?
have. Immortals Among Us, Life as a Human, book one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a couple different dreams inside that book.
Okay.
One of them is the scene when M is in the airplane with the kids and he
Mm-hmm.
goes down. The whole part of the dream uh, was when they were in the water and everybody could breathe. And then
Yeah.
that part opened up and we went into another world.
Mm-hmm.
That was the dream.
That was the dream you had?
That was a dream.
That's crazy. That was a good part, though. I really enjoyed that. It was very interesting. It was just a different way of doing, other worlds and alternate realities and stuff
And
like that.
old granddad's bluff in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Um, the dream part of it is that there was somebody inside the bluff, which was a coal mine. I
Hmm.
think it was either coal or copper, one or the other. And the tracks came out. They dropped the boulder inside there. And in reality, what happened, and I had to do a little thing to get these spirits to go free, is the Orientals, when they were done using them for slaves, when they
Hmm.
dropped that boulder in there, they left them in there.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
Ugh. Why would you bring that up? This is supposed to be a happy show. You're
You
releasing a book.
asked. You asked. I get myself in all kinds of situations, dear.
Well, I am so excited for your book coming out. And well, it's already out.
I
I'm
can't wait.
excited to start seeing some of these reviews come
I
back.
can't. Well, like I was saying before, I get it's got. I know everybody that I know that wants the book. It's got to be in paperback.
Hmm. Yeah, they want the tangible. I want to feel it.
If you look at my past, well, you can't. But if I will just let you know, I sell more in paperback than I do in ebook.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
so
Do you have any events coming up anytime soon?
well, there is. I have to check with our friend about awakening,
Hmm.
but I'll probably be doing something there again,
Okay, good.
and I'll be. I've Dragon's gun show, and I did his gun show, and I'm probably going to do another of his gun shows, and then another one in the strip mall there. There's Lucas County Library, and there's
Hmm.
Hell, Michigan in June.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah,
So
if
far,
you
that's it.
so far that's it. I've been
That's a
scared to do any
lot.
more because well, I'm adamant in thinking the old way is the best way to sell books. So, but uh, it's coming up with the funds to order the books and then waiting the
Yeah.
6 weeks for Amazon to ship them to you.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest hurdle,
Yes.
is that you don't want to make a commitment with a business and them advertising it or not. If they do spend money on advertising by mentioning your name, and then you don't show up because Amazon wants to be a prick,
Yeah. Nope. I get it.
because
Yeah. And then I've heard horror stories of people getting whole shipments that were just they were mortifying.
oh
The,
yeah, the my Twisted. Dee sent me 10 books of Twisted, and
hmm.
3 of those books were messed up. I ended up
Yeah.
selling them anyway because I put them in a vice and fixed them.
Hmm. Okay.
Because Dee never said anything else to me about it. And it's like, okay, well, Amazon told her to suck it. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'll do what I can.
They
If
didn't
nothing
even
else,
make
I'll
it
give it to them.
right.
Amazon didn't make it right.
I like Amazon for a lot of things, but their customer service is sometimes lacking. So, sadly. But I mean, they do offer a lot of really cool things for indie authors for the most part.
There are some pluses. I
Yeah.
agree, there's some pluses, but when they take so much money from you
Hmm.
for selling a product that costs them absolutely nothing, referring to ebooks,
Hmm.
then I have issue with that.
Yeah.
But what are
They
you
do take quite
going
a bit.
to do? I mean, everybody does
It's
the
the nature of
same
the beast.
thing. It's the nature of the beast. It's yeah. Um, it just I don't know.
No, I get it. I get it. So, I'm gonna go back to this. I just want everybody to take a look at this. This is where you find it. It is on Amazon. You can look him up under either Immortal Apocalypse or his name, which is right there. Um, and if you guys decide that you want a signed paperback, he is more than happy to sign a paperback for
Oh
you and get
yes.
it to you.
Oh
Um,
yes.
where can people find you, Paul?
Well, before we go there, I want to say there's we were talking about doing spiritual stuff before, a
Yeah,
book before. Well, I
yeah.
put some of that stuff in Immortal Apocalypse because the humans that are hanging out with the
Hmm.
immortals are teaching the humans because they're pagan how to do some certain things so that they
Yes,
have some backup.
right.
Everybody's got some backup. Okay. Uh, so that's all there. And you can find me either on my website, or you can find me on Facebook, or you can find me on, I don't really use TikTok all that often anymore.
And what's
Uh,
your website?
uh, I think I don't remember. I really don't remember. It's Tigger Great Site or something like that .com, but I don't remember. Um,
Well,
I
get that when you find it, get it posted up so that people can are they able to order the book off of your website or do
No,
they
ma'am.
need to how do they contact you to order a
Just
book?
just contact me through Messenger.
On
Uh,
Facebook?
I'm Paul Ieson. It's Ieson. And I'm Paul Ieson on Facebook.
That is an I, a
That is an
capital
I.
I. It is not a
Yes.
lowercase L.
And so you can either go to my personal Facebook or you can go to my author page and get a hold of me that way. That's the best way to do it. And
Yep.
people sometimes they want to follow you or they want to friend you, and but they don't tell you who they are or what they might want.
So leave them a
And so,
message
I don't know how to put those messages on there.
on
So
where.
in a messenger, you know how you go to businesses and sometimes the message pops up, thank you for messaging. I don't know how to
Yes,
do that.
I can help you out there. I gotcha.
Nobody.
Yeah. I know a little bit. I know just enough to be dangerous. So
Mm. Yeah, same here.
we want to thank everybody for coming today. Sorry this isn't as jubilant as usual. I'm still suffering from a migraine. I've had it for like 3 days, but I am trying. I am getting better. At least I'm upright today. But I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Paul, for coming on. Get his book. There's you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
There's
Oh yeah.
intrigue, there's magic, there's people, there's not people, non-humans in these books.
Cryptids.
Yes, you guys definitely need to check it
Have
out.
you ever seen a Bigfoot swing from the bottom of a UFO?
Uh I guess I'm going to now, but definitely take 5 minutes, get the ebook, get the order it on Amazon, get the Kindle, whatever. Read this book. It's start out with Immortals
Immortals
Among
Among
Us.
Us, Life is a Human, then it's
Life is a
Immortal
Human,
Apocalypse, Myth Becomes Reality.
and just all of his books are really good. So definitely try to get one as soon as you possibly can. They're available now, definitely as an ebook, paperback. We don't know when Amazon's doing, so we're working on it. But we want to thank you all for coming and thank you all for being here. And we appreciate you putting up with our BS today. Paul, I wish you nothing but the best. And I cannot wait to see how things go. I can't wait to see the next book, too. I'm very excited because we've got number 3 coming whenever it gets done. Don't expect it anytime soon because summer's coming. He won't be in town.
Yeah, I'm never in town in the summertime.
All right. TBA for the TBA release party. We want to thank you. And then Paul,
And
thank you
thank
for
you for
being here.
having me there, Lady Jen.
You're welcome. Everybody have a great day.